Good morning on this fine day. And isn't it a fine day? Somewhere it's cold, somewhere it's hot, somewhere it's just right. But whatever way it is, it's just a fine day. You know why is it a fine day? Because we are alive and we are here and we are with so many positive people and we have an opportunity to recreate, reinvent, and get out of our default mode and empower the entire world, influence the world with our positive vibrations. So guys, take a moment to reflect, and allow ourselves, let us allow ourselves to celebrate this moment, Ever since this topic I put on the visual that I created today, I'm actually in a state of celebration. New energies are coming into me, And nice songs are coming into me also. Aaja rim jim ke ye pyare pyare geet liye. And now if I do more, then Ashokji will sing, then Kunain will sing, and everybody will sing. And we will have a lot of sings with Pagdi on our call, right? So we will be the singing sensations of early morning conversations. Why? Because we are celebrating life, right? So question is, are we really celebrating life? We are and we are not, right? So have you noticed that there are moments of celebration in life? So when are the moments in which we celebrate, ladies and gentlemen? When we have a function, we wait for a birthday, we wait for an anniversary, we wait for the windfall. But instead of having a windfall, we are having wind pass most of the time. So when are we celebrating? What will it take for us to start celebrating every moment of our life? And can that begin now? So how does it feel? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, when I say to you, okay, let's celebrate life. So what does it evoke in you? So a long time back, I attended training program. I think 10 years after that, even Abhinav has attended that training program. And we used to have a very interesting exercise in that training program. You know that? So we would walk around the room and we would look at each other and we would say, you know what we would say? We would say, I am creating you. I am celebrating our relationship. And I know who you are. And we would do this with everybody. And at the end of that, there was so much celebration, there was so much positivity, there was so much love and closeness and camaraderie all flowing in that room, Wow. So what happens if we do that now, Let's look at each other, even the blank screens. Of course, if they are not blank, it will be much better. If some people are visible, hello. Can you guys please for a moment become visible? Because we want to meet you and we want to greet you. Thank you, Kunenji, for unmuting your video and all the other lovely people. Thank you. God bless you for allowing yourself to be seen. Priyaji, KPG, Leenaji, Abhinavji, Smriti. Wow, so nice to have you with us, Smriti. Now that makes this a very special occasion. So we have our good friend Smriti Lal Chandani from Baroda joining us. And so we had the pleasure of meeting her a few days back. I had the pleasure of her hospitality also, along with the hospitality of Leena ji. So that was wonderful. So everybody come on the screen, please. Yeah, Bhopal, not Baroda. कभी-कभी हमारी ज़बान जो है ना फिसल जाती है. I don't know why I'm thinking of Baroda. I think the next program is going to be in Baroda. Okay, guys, so will you open up and make yourself visible so I can start what we want to do? Okay, so I'm not going to wait. If you don't want to participate properly, choice is yours. All right, so here we go. I am creating you. So everybody say that. I am, look at the people on the screen and you say, I am creating you.
I am creating you.
And I celebrate our relationship.
And I celebrate our relationship.
and I know who you are. So when you're
And
celebrating your relationship, you should look like celebration, okay? अभी ना आप ऐसे लग रहे हो जैसे आप मातम मना रहे हो सुबह सुबह. Hello, I am creating you. I'm celebrating relationship and I know who you are. Interesting words, isn't it? I am creating you.
I am creating you, and I know who you are.
Exactly. I'm creating you so I can celebrate this relationship. Interesting words, because every moment, every day we are creating life. We are creating everything. We are creating a relationship. So if I'm creating something, why can't I celebrate my creation? If I create something, will I be sitting in judgment of that creation all the time?
No.
Or would I look at when you have this little baby who's born into your house and you look at that baby and you're pretty clear it's your creation, right? And you look at this little baby and you say, wow, I made this. Wow. So why can't we look at everything in our life and say, wow, I made this? But your judgment mind says, I made this. So there's a very subtle difference between, wow, I made this and I made this. So what's the difference between the two of them, do you think? Huh?
Positive and negative.
Conscious and unconscious.
Arey Baba re, can we not use simple words? What is the difference between the two, according to you? Come on, make another guess. I mean, you don't have to keep quiet because Sukhdeepak said I'm wrong. I didn't say you're wrong. I'm saying, is there any other possibility?
What you are telling happily, sir.
Yeah, you are celebrating it because you are celebrating it, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you notice that we have a choice whether to celebrate our creation or we don't. I mean, obviously. So what happens if we live a life beyond the good and bad, right and wrong? And I agree and I don't agree. I like it and I don't like it. So if we live a life beyond that, I mean, just see the absurdity of it, I create something and I don't want to like it. Okay, then recreate it. Yeah? I don't like that also. Okay, create it again. So when I was very small, I just picked up the Bible and something was written, God created the world, man in his own image. So you are creating, okay. That's why we can celebrate every human being who's there. I mean, if the Almighty created somebody, then I might as well celebrate it. Na bhoot pret bhi usi ne banaya. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How will you make it possible to celebrate, your life? So if you want to have a clue about it, how can I celebrate my life? Ask, no? What energy, space, and consciousness can I be that would allow me to celebrate my life and everything that is times a godzillion? I will destroy it and create it all.
Yes.
And you know what? Then your eyes will fall on what is written on the screen. So how can you celebrate life? First, read on the screen what's written over there.
Didn't get.
Huh?
Acknowledging what is.
Exactly. So I want you to interpret that, Kunen, when we say acknowledge what is.
Okay, my interpretation for this acknowledge what is we live our life in the moments, and whatsoever is happening in that moment, that specific moment, I have to accept as is by thinking that this is good for me. Universe has sent this to me, and I am going to acknowledge, I'm going to enjoy, and I'm going to be allowances with that, with the complete energy.
Okay, that's wonderful, Professor Kunen. I mean, after all, you have to speak like Dr. Kunen Shahidi. Thank you very much for that interpretation. Makes a lot of sense. Let's hear somebody else. Let's have our new joinee on this call, Smriti. So when we say acknowledge what does that evoke in you and what's your interpretation of that? Smriti ji, are you there?
Smriti ji is walking somewhere.
Oh no, it only is a picture of her walking, but she may be walking or not, we do not know. Anyway, Reddy Garu, you can give your interpretation of that.
Sir, living every moment of your life is what exactly is that?
Yeah, but the words are very specific, na? Acknowledge what is.
Take it as it is. As you said, we take all in the same way, whether it is a sorrow, whether it is a happiness, whether it is whatever the situation comes, to take it the same way, into happiness.
Okay, that also is correct. That also resonates. But let's look at it a little bit more. Yes, who are these two people who raised their hands? Let's see. Reddy Garu's already spoken. Yes, Mr. Vetri.
Yes, sir. My interpretation is acknowledging what it is accepting the reality and accepting that I only created this.
Okay, sounds good to me. Let's hear KP what he has to say. KPG.
Good
By
morning.
the way, before you speak, I just want to say something for the people who are coming for the first time. Empowering morning conversations are conversations. All right. And these conversations allow us to shift out of our default mode and get into a create mode. Okay. We are shifting out of being influenced negatively all the time and generating new possibilities instead of getting stuck in resisting or reacting to what is. Okay. So the opposite of reacting and resisting what is acknowledging what is. Okay, go ahead, KPG.
So I feel acknowledging is consciously recognize what is there and you feel it. You experience it. That's
That is the closest one to what I am talking about. It's like literally saying, hey, I know you are there. When I ask you to do that 50 objects exercise, do you remember that exercise?
Yeah.
When you're giving full attention to something, you are actually acknowledging that you are there. You can live with people for years in your house and never acknowledge their presence. You understand? The opposite of acknowledging is ignoring, I think. Not consciously being aware that something is there and I have it. So interesting, now, if you have something and you don't know that you have it, then what will you think? I don't have anything. Whereas you may be having everything. Very nice. KP, fantastic. Congratulations. We should have some star system of awarding, but then that will be judging. So we don't do that. We acknowledge and appreciate and accept everything that you have to say. And you know what? People get married to who? They fall in love, na? They get married to the makeup and the beautiful clothes, right? And the perfume. Then when they get married, along with that, they are getting bad breath in the morning also. And the mother-in-law also, and the pimple also. So acknowledge what is. Thank you so much. Kuldeep ji.
Sir, I think it is just be an awareness and nothing to say to yourself. Means it is beyond the thought. Thought is not with thought.
Okay, very nice. That also adds to what we are saying. Thank you very much. But do you get it? It's like when you acknowledge, you're putting your awareness on it and saying, yo, I have this and it is there. You are there. I know, I see it.
Yes.
So we can walk through life without really seeing anything. One of the things that I discovered when I went, had a transformational experience is that things started looking three-dimensional. We are looking at things all the time, but we are not really seeing them. So those of you who do that exercise, which I've asked you to do, you will notice that the moment you really start looking at something really and acknowledging it fully, that thing becomes more rounded, more three-dimensional. There are so many things in it you start to see which we never saw before. Yeah. So you have people in your life also, when you really start acknowledging them, right, and knowing them for what they are, and then you start to see so many facets of them more and more and more every day, you start to see something in them which you never saw before. You can have a realization after 10 years, wow, what is this wonderful person I have? I never realized it before. Right? Thank you, Kuldeep ji. Anybody else? What's your interpretation of acknowledging what is? So Abhinav can also speak. Kamal ji can also speak. Leena ji should speak. Kishore ji can speak.
Sukhdeepak, the question is, what is my interpretation of acknowledging what is, right? Okay, so what I can make out is, and this is what I don't do in life, by the way. It's always aisa nahi hona chahiye, things should be like that. Why did he comment like that? Why didn't he comment like that? He should have encouraged me. Why are they discouraging me? So I'm into that. So acknowledging what is, but of course I do understand I have no control over others, but do have, like I can acknowledge what is. So when I start acknowledging what is that, it gives me happiness and peace, and not only happiness, peace for myself, actually happiness or peace for others as well.
Beautiful. And another possibility might also come, na? Abhinav,
Yeah.
when we start acknowledging others, there is something else which comes into play, right?
Yeah.
So when you acknowledge something, there is energy flow happening to them, right?
Yes.
And its energy is like a magnet. You can try this experiment anywhere when you go to a mall or something, right? You put your attention on anybody and send a little energy to them. Because in any case, when you give attention to somebody, energy is going anyhow. And they'll turn and look at you.
Yeah.
It works 100% all the time. Okay, so and there is a law of nature which says, as you give, so shall you receive. You know that law? As you give, so shall you receive. So Hindi में कैसे बोलेंगे? As you give, so shall you receive.
जैसा दोगे वैसा जैसा दोगे वैसा मिलेगा.
वैसा पाओगे.
पाओगे.
There is another way of saying it also. I forgot that just now. जैसी करनी वैसे भरनी. There's so many ways of doing it. Right? So
do unto others as you would want others to do unto you.
That's about what you should do. Yeah, okay. But as you do, so let us now look a little bit more into this phenomena. That when I start acknowledging what is, what happens? So some of you are getting a sense of what happens, right? When we start acknowledging what is the first thing that is going to happen? Definitely a celebration.
A better
when
bond.
you realize.
Better bond.
Okay. What else? Acknowledging what is. I was, Leena, with your permission, I was doing a course with them. And at some point of time, her husband says, she's MSc in chemistry. Now that's called acknowledging what is. Okay?
Yeah.
So sometimes you can live with a person who is an MSc in chemistry. Okay? And if you have not acknowledged that person for the quality that they have, how do you think you'll be treating them? If you have an extraordinary person with you, correct? But you never saw that extraordinariness. How would you treat them?
ठीक है.
You would treat them like an ordinary person, correct? Now, when you look at the mirror and you are acknowledging yourself, what will you see there? Ordinary person or an extraordinary person?
Ordinary person.
Yeah, if you are not acknowledging yourself, and if you are not acknowledging the gifts that you have, and if you are not acknowledging the qualities that you have, and if you are not acknowledging so much that God has given you, if you're not acknowledging these things, you might see yourself as an ordinary person and treat yourself. Remember what I said, the way you see yourself is the way you treat yourself. And the way you treat yourself is the way you will treat others. And the way you treat others is the way they'll treat you. So there is a reality getting created. And who's creating it?
You.
Me only.
Exactly. So let's say this one more time. I am creating you.
I am creating you.
I celebrate our relationship.
I celebrate our relationship.
And I know who you are.
And I know who you are.
So if I say to you, okay, Krishna, Vetri, Kuldeep ji, please acknowledge what is. Yeah, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, no? So how about acknowledging what is in your life, starting with you? How would you do that? So let's take one or two people and we will have them acknowledge what is. So let's have Leena ji, ladies first hota hai na? So Leena ji, acknowledge what is. Kya hai mere paas? यहाँ पर we've got a lot of pandits in Hindi. Acknowledge को क्या बोलेंगे हिंदी में? Never mind.
स्वीकार करना,
What?
स्वीकार करना,
स्वीकार करना. That is accept. Acknowledge. जब वो कभी कभी लोग बोलते हैं ना, I see you. That's acknowledge, right? बोलिए लीना जी. Start the process of acknowledging what is. जो है अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा जी आपको. You unmuted again, you muted. Right.
Sir, क्या acknowledge करें? What
जो
is?
है, देखिए acknowledge what is. Is क्या है मतलब जो है उसको acknowledge करो ना. हमारा तो attention mostly जो नहीं है उस पे होता है ना. So जो है उसको acknowledge कर सकते हैं, हम appreciate कर सकते हैं. Acknowledge means मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि हाँ भाई मेरे पास है ये, right? और appreciate होता है जो मेरे पास है मैं उसको appreciate भी करता हूँ. तो आप बताएं. You can acknowledge what is. You can acknowledge the wonderful person that you are and appreciate, right? Isn't it?
So we can't acknowledge the things we have, or we can
You
only
can acknowledge everything that you have, isn't it?
Yeah.
So start acknowledging. So बोलते हैं ना accounting करते हैं ना जब हम बैठ के साल के एंड में बैलेंस शीट बनाते हैं तो we see ना क्या हो, these are the assets I've got, these are the liabilities I got and all that. Acknowledge what is. तो आप हिचकिचा क्यों रही हैं? All you have to do is say, okay, I've got a wonderful personality, I've got a wonderful house, I've got a wonderful children, I've got a wonderful husband, right? I've got a wonderful smile. How many things that you can acknowledge that you have, you know?
Yeah.
So start.
Yeah, start.
Start the process. Bolo.
I have wonderful house, then wonderful children, then wonderful husband, everything.
मेरे words ना तो. Okay, so what else? I mean, really, seriously, all of you start thinking about
wonderful friends and people around us. Yeah, everything I have.
So much of knowledge that you have now to contribute, and you had before also. And what else?
Wonderful family. I mean, in family, everybody else. brothers, sisters, my cousins, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know what? We have to go deep into, थोड़ा गहराई में जाएंगे ना, तो जैसे सोने की खान को हम खोदते हैं तो सोना निकलना शुरू हो जाता है, correct? So when you start acknowledging, you will find more and more things that you can acknowledge yourself for. Because in order to find the things that you can acknowledge yourself for, you might have to clean up a little bit of the kachara, है ना, जो देखने नहीं देता आपको. We are not able to see the things that we have so that we can acknowledge and appreciate them, right?
Yes.
So good, you started the process. Congratulations. Wonderful. Thank you very much. So
Thank
let's
you,
pick
thank
up
you.
another person. Who shall we pick up since we have started picking on the ladies? Major Narayanan, where are you going in this car?
I'm going towards Nagpur, sir.
Wow. Eat a lot of oranges over there. Sakshi ji, where are you? You are going next. Where did she go? She disappeared or what? All right, who's next?
She's
Wait,
back.
wait,
sir.
let's not waste time. Let's start the process of acknowledging. Now you can do it silently. I can make you do a process, or you can share, because when you share, others will also realize, yeah, I also have that, you know. So who's next?
Sakshi is back, sir.
So Sakshi ji, your turn.
Yeah.
Acknowledge what is. आपकी सोने की खान में जो नगीने हैं उसको आप appreciate and acknowledge करें.
Yes. Good morning, one and all. I first acknowledge that I am alive, healthy, and a normal human being. Then I also acknowledge lovely relationship what I have, my mom, my daughter, my brother Bhabhi, and my pet cat Elsa, and all the friends and this platform where we get, rejuvenated daily in the morning, where we come to our normal sense and not be in that auto mode. So I acknowledge that I am blessed that I have a platform where I can express and where I can understand myself and also understand how the life has to be or has to be lived. Then I acknowledge all my creative talents, because I am like, I love all of them. I enjoy, I live the day to fullest because I express myself through them. I acknowledge this house, this beautiful environment, area where I'm staying, my society. And I acknowledge a lot of things, like, some experiences during the day where they, like, they intrigue me, they amuse me. I feel good about them. So I acknowledge all of this. Thank you.
Okay. Actually, the list might be endless, no?
Yes, it is endless, no doubt.
Yeah, and I'm saying to you that this, let's acknowledge and appreciate, even if it's endless. The more aware we are of what is, I'll just again bring your attention to the exercise when you acknowledge 50 different objects. There is a shift, isn't it, when you do it?
Yes.
Because that acknowledgement of what is, whatever and you have to put your attention on it, isn't it? You cannot acknowledge what is unless you put your attention on it. And when you put your attention on it, what do you think happens? You're able to draw energy from it. Because all these things that you treasure and you value, you have them, right? So it's like, you bought this beautiful painting and you put it on the wall because it made you feel good to look at it, right? That's why you bought it. But after some time, it was just a painting on the wall. And every time you look at it and you really acknowledge it, you are actually again getting the same energy from it, isn't it? So consider the possibility that each and every one of us here in this call We are all interested to have what? One of the things. Tell me, what do you want to have in your life? Abundance, no? Am I right in saying that each and every one of us wants abundance in our life?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
we want abundance of love, we want abundance of respect, we want to have abundance of closeness and affinity, right? We want abundance of money, we want abundance of ease, we want abundance of joy, we want abundance of glory, so we want a wonderful life. And you know what? The shortcut to getting it, ladies and gentlemen, if you start acknowledging what is, then you start getting from what is hell of a lot more than what you're getting. All this belongs to you. I remember when I did the Art of Living program in 1992 or something like that, we used to always say, you know, I would say namaste to a person and we'd say, I belong to you. Right? And it used to feel good, you know. So all this world which you created belongs to you. And every time you were to acknowledge it, you know, you're connecting with it, you're drawing energy from it, you're giving energy to it, you're adding more and more to the richness of your life. Richness doesn't only mean money, na? Yes, Hasina ji? Go ahead.
You muted.
Yeah, I know. She also knows. Will you please unmute yourself, Hasina ji?
Oh, I did. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yay, we can hear you.
Yeah. I acknowledge that I'm always looking forward to help people around and all the time. I'm very alert on that. I acknowledge that I do a lot of craft and I'm a good cook. And I also acknowledge that I behave very crazy with my grandchildren and they just say, we've got mad grandmother. I clown sometimes, I dance with them. So this part of me, I feel it is really fun for everybody around.
Okay, so there's a very beautiful. Hasina ji, thank you very much for sharing it.
One more thing I acknowledge is I keep my house very tidy. I'm
Wow.
very keen on that.
Yeah. Can you also acknowledge yourself that you get up early in the morning and you make yourself very, very presentable early in the morning and you're there always with energy?
Yes, I'm very punctual. I'm very, very punctual.
Can you acknowledge yourself for the fact? So now I know you and your sister for a long time, right? That you've been always ahead of your time, right?
Right.
So also one more thing I want to say to all of you. See, we all will acknowledge something which we consider as different or better or extraordinary, right? So the things that we have in our created life, which we think, ye to sabke paas hai, you know, we don't acknowledge that, na? But we can actually. Because every little thing, if I am in the state of awareness that I have it, and I'm acknowledging its presence in my life, now it's virtually impossible to give all your attention to all things at the same time, right? That's what your first reaction is going to be. But I say to you that if we allow ourselves to be open, right? If our attention is set free, then it's easier for us to acknowledge what is. Now, I want you to think about this crazy statement that I just made. Yeah, it's difficult to comprehend or no? If you free your attention, right? What will you get? Your attention generally is fixed on something or the other, na? So where is our attention usually getting fixed upon? Inadvertently, involuntarily. Our attention gets fixed on something or the other. So what do you think that is? Definitely it'll get fixed to problems. Right? Attention gets fixed. Very funny, but it gets fixed to things that we don't like. So the attention most of the time is scattered, it's fixed on so many things. What if I train myself to bring my attention in my control and keep my attention free? And the more free my attention is going to be, the more awareness I'm going to have. And the more awareness that I'm going to have, the more I'm going to be aware of what is there in my life and the bounty that I enjoy, the wealth that I enjoy, wealth of the richness of life that I enjoy. And the more you acknowledge what is, you shall start feeling the real sukoon, the confidence. And, like when somebody has everything, there is a realization. No? And then you will sing songs like Aaj Fir Jeene Ki Tamanna Hai. When does that come? So let us start with small steps, right? By first acknowledging what is. Because when you acknowledge and you give your attention to what is, you're learning a new technique. Hello, you love techniques, no? Life hacks. Formula bataiye, sir ji. So I'm telling you formula. So when we start doing that, you will be finding it very easy to do something else, which I'm going to tell you. I'm thinking whether I should tell you now or not. Because I've told you many times before, I don't even think you'll remember it. So when you start acknowledging what is, what do you think will happen after the happiness, more awareness? Can you imagine that situation? That you started acknowledging everything that is, and you started feeling, wow, kitna maza aa raha hai, pootere nazar chal rahi hain, etc., etc. And you're feeling very great. It's good to feel great about your life, isn't it? That's why we've got a program called Good to Great. And by the way, Good to Great program offers you the money workshop. So when you start acknowledging what is, shall we quickly do that? Let's take 5 minutes to go into ourselves, close our eyes, right? First, start experiencing yourself in your body and acknowledge each and every part of your body which has been serving you for so many years. Yeah, every part of your body, starting with your toes, your feet, your ankles, your calf muscles, your knees, your thighs, every part of your body, every organ of your body, including your skin. Everything that you have connected with your body, and you acknowledge it. You can acknowledge yourself for your smile. You can acknowledge yourself for your grace. You can acknowledge yourself for your strength. You can acknowledge yourself for being the unique personality that you are. You can acknowledge your life experience, which has enriched you so much. Whether you like that life experience or not, it has always enriched you. Every experience has enriched you. Find out more that you can acknowledge yourself for. You can acknowledge yourself for your accomplishments. You can acknowledge yourself for your so-called failures, because there are no failures. There are only learnings coming to us in a different form. So you can acknowledge yourself for that. You can start acknowledging the people who are there in your life, starting with the inner circle, and then slightly widening the circle. You can acknowledge each and every person, and each person can be acknowledged for the richness that they bring to your life. Each person brings a richness to your life. You can acknowledge all the people from your childhood till now, one by one. Those who came into your life and they enriched it. Even the teacher who pulled your ears has enriched it. All those people in life who may have criticized you or judged you, we can even acknowledge them for their contribution to your life. put your attention on the first thing that you bought with your own money. And how did it feel that you could buy that with your own money? Appreciate and acknowledge that. And with that, we can start looking at all the material things that we have and the material comfort that we enjoy, each and everything. Every person, every thing in our life that we have, let's put our attention on that and acknowledge that we have it. Acknowledge all your professional experiences. Acknowledge all those people who came into your life professionally, right from your first job till now. Acknowledge all these situations and learnings and technicalities or whatever that people came and gave to you, all the people who challenged you, the situations that challenged you. So much is there to be acknowledging ourselves for, isn't it? You can acknowledge yourself for the fact that you transformed yourself many times to take care of the situations that you were dealing with. Acknowledge the different phases that we pass through in our life and how these phases, they opened up new vistas for you. And we can acknowledge that as well. Of course, we can acknowledge that we are alive and we are healthy. When this session is over today, I want you to look at each object that you have in your life, in your house. You know, give it a good look and say, hey, I thank you for being there in my life. You can look at each item and say to that item, hey, bring me more happiness, bring me more joy, bring me more money. And everything that is around you is going to start contributing to give you what you desire. Consider that when you start acknowledging everything that is. You start acknowledging, continue to acknowledge what is. Okay? So everything that is there, in our life, instead of just being there, gathering dust, is now really alive and available to you to contribute to you energetically. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And then you could sing a song like, Gale lag ja, mere sapne, mere apne. All these are yours, man. And when we acknowledge what is, we are inviting more. All right. So whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and look at us and say, I am creating you. I celebrate our relationship and I know who you are. All right, you can open your eyes now.
वेरी नाइस, बहुत ही अच्छा लगा सुन के ना, एकदम से एनर्जी आई या फिर बात ना सुन के ना, इट्स सच नाइस.
I'm not able to make out who is speaking.
Mrs. Henry.
No, he will not speak in a lady's voice, will he?
Mrs.
Esther.
No, Bhaiya.
Ah.
My friend, I'm actually walking with her.
Oh.
And we were listening to you.
Okay. That's nice.
So basically, this is Ritu.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. You know what?
Good
You
morning.
asked Henry to, you send us your number, we'll add you to the group. So you
I'll
can,
do that. I'll do that. I'll
Yeah.
do that. I'll
he
do
can
that.
join directly, from her device.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Most welcome. You were saying something, please complete saying that.
Who was saying?
You were
No.
saying, no, be grateful for everything.
You were rightly saying, I could correlate. We have to be very grateful for each and everything happening in our life and whatever we have. So that's what we were discussing.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Who else? So have you started to notice that when you acknowledge what is it starting to open up in your life? You know something, when somebody dies, all right, and you are at the funeral ceremony and you are asked to speak a few words about them, and then we speak so many words and we acknowledge so many things, and we are telling the people who are there about the person who's not there. Sometimes I wonder that in their lifetime, did we acknowledge them for all these things?
Yeah, I want to say something.
Yeah.
This has been coming to my mind in the last 3 days after I've lost my brother-in-law on Sunday. And it's not the first time that it has come, but why does it take someone to die for us to acknowledge or to love or to forgive?
Exactly.
Does it have to take someone to die?
Exactly. Why can't we acknowledge them when they are there,
Correct.
I mean, when they are there, if we told them, hey, brother, you are this wonderful, magnificent, extraordinary human being, and I celebrate you being in my life.
Yeah.
We might have it in our heart,
Now, a lot of time we are very conjuice in that. We are very conjuice in doing that.
I don't know, maybe we are shy, or I don't know.
Shy, okay.
I mean, somebody might think, what's wrong with you, man, suddenly?
Very true.
Because this is when somebody is very happy. Have you noticed? Somebody is like really humming a tune and happy, and you ask him everything.
Correct.
See, the other day, one person, their daughter is in America, right? And suddenly in the middle of the night, she sent a WhatsApp message to her father and mother, "Hey, Mom, I really love you a lot and I'm very grateful to you," and blah, blah, blah. And same message she sent to the father also. Okay? They got worried. They got worried and called her up. Beta, everything okay? So she said, "Me, Pops, I was just, feeling, I was feeling overwhelmed with my love for you. And I was missing you." So I said that. And she also said, "I'm very sorry for that I might have hurt you so much," or something like that, So she just felt like saying that, right? "I'm sorry about all the times in my life I hurt you."
Yeah.
You guys got worried, okay, now what? In fact, the lady, she knows me. She said, "Deepak ji, मैं बहुत worried हूँ. कहीं suicide तो नहीं कर लेगी?" मैंने कहा, "You mad हो?" But this is the funny part of life, right?
Yep.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is the day when you acknowledge what is. And everything that shows up in your life. Because every moment, every 10 seconds, something new is showing up anyway, right? We are usually unconscious to it. We don't want to give attention to it. But when we start operating out of higher awareness and granting beingness, when you are acknowledging something, you are granting it beingness because for you it comes into existence at that time. Before that, it's just there. It's not in existence for you. Yes, Hasina ji.
Sir, I want to acknowledge this, that when my elder son got married, after he got married, my mother and my father went to Australia to my brother. And I wrote a letter to them. I wrote a letter to them saying that in such a detail that what they have done because of the wedding, how much they had helped because I was living with my mother only. So such a detail, I acknowledge every little bit my father did, my mother did. And then my mother expired in Australia. And that letter came back to me. My bhabhi sent it back to me. And when I went through that letter, I was so happy that this is what I did before my mother died. I wanted to share that.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I'm going to be ending the session now. So if anybody wants to say something, you better do that now. Hello. Anybody wants to say anything? Neeti ji, go ahead.
So it's been a wonderful session, and I am really amazed at how you're bringing to our awareness simple words like acknowledgement, allowance, gratitude, generosity, and so many doors, windows, so much is opening up in our life around us. So I just wanted to thank you for it. It's been a wonderful session and a wonderful realization. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I feel very acknowledged. Thank you so much.
I second
Thank
you.
Yes, Pooja ji.
Sukhdeepak sir, I would like to acknowledge you for all the love and blessing you are showering us daily, and to all the team here. I mean, it's a wonderful place, and I mean, in morning, really, it's energize and uplift everybody. And one query, yes, we acknowledge so many things, but if our attention stuck somewhere on a particular thing, which is like unresolved, so how we should communicate, or how we do that?
So Pooja, then there are certain tools that you already have, right?
Yeah.
Which we've given you. Some you've learned also, otherwise,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
My point is that that's what those tools are for, to free your attention from where it's stuck. So I work with people who get discouraged, So when people are discouraged, their attention is always on that something which is bothering them, which is troubling them. And I tell them to focus their attention on the desired state.
Yeah.
भाई जो तुम चाहते हो, जो तुम desire करते हो, put your attention on that, and put your attention on how do I make that happen. You may find that the hold of that negative thing that's holding your attention, that might get loosened. In any case, better to focus on what we want, na?
Yeah.
And there are these like that exercise of 50 different objects, like this exercise of generating laughter. There are many exercises and tools that I've given you, isn't it?
Yes, sir. We know that we should focus on what we want to create, what we want in our life, rather than what we don't want. But automatically, if we are not in creation, yeah. So one particular thing which is bothering us since years, and that's not getting resolved, so it automatically goes there. So all the movement, if you are not aware, so either you resolve it, or either I mean, if all your efforts went and still it's not resolved, and still at times it keep coming back to you.
वो गाना याद कर लो ना, जब कोई बात बिगड़ जाए, जब मुश्किल हो जाए, तो हम
Yes.
हैं ना तुम्हारे साथ.
Fine, sir. Fine. Thank you so
Anybody
much.
on the EMC, anybody whom you are drawn to, you can call them up and talk to them. All right.
Fine.
You can talk to me. I mean, I've always been available.
Thank you, sir.
But what we would appreciate is if you try to use the tool first. क्योंकि अगर मेरे घर में गाड़ी है और मैं दूसरे को जाके बोल रहा हूँ यार ड्राइवर भेज दो जरा मेरे से गाड़ी नहीं चल रही, है ना?
Got it, sir.
So first you give it a shot because you have to trust your knowing, you know. कभी हम अपना खुद का एतबार नहीं करते कि मुझसे हो जाएगा. You want to start acknowledging yourself as the infinite being that you are. And it's all right to ask for support. Thank you so much for saying that. Okay, who else? I am very curious to know who is this S on our call. Because we cannot see the S, we do not know who this S is. So may I request you, Mr. or Miss S, to introduce yourself. Who are you? We don't know you. Or do we know you? Hello. S. Not yes. Some people say S like yes.
Let's acknowledge S.
So, Madam, Mr. whoever you are, can you please let us know who you are? Our attention is getting fixed on this unknown, mysterious stranger who's there on our call. So we are not to know that. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Have a wonderful day and see you tomorrow with another episode of Empowering Morning Conversations. And remember,
thank you, sir.
All
Thanks
of
a lot, sir.
to us with
Thank
ease
you,
and glory.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
All of life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye, sir. Good day, sir.
Thank you. Stay safe and stay blessed all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And thank you all. Thank you, sir.